Hi there and welcome to some more content by the online physiotherapist. It's Tim here, and what I want to talk to you around today is a Pilates program. So these are going to describe some of the best exercises that you can do if you are new to the Pilates journey, if you are somebody with low back pain, or indeed if you are somebody who is partway through their Pilates journey but actually wants some key principles of which to stick to. So why is Pilates so important? Well, we need to strengthen right around the middle of our core. This is the keystone to our body, and we just need to keep on moving without pain. And so Pilates is an absolutely fantastic way to build control into our muscles that we don't ordinarily focus on in our fast-paced world today. Now, we've created this that you can join in with this program as you go. So the first thing that you need to do is bring your feet together, separate out the toes, and then bring the ankles in line. Now, a pelvic tilt is either anterior or posterior. Lots of people who sit at desks have an anterior tilt because of the tight hip flexors. Now, what we want to do is come into a posterior tilt where that back is flat into the bed or into the floor, and these muscles here are activated. You can test this out just by coughing, and you should feel that those muscles push up into your fingers if you have your fingers just on the inside of your pelvic bone at the front. So we're going to tilt back, hold for 5, and relax. And we're going to do 10 reps of this. So back into another 5. And back again. And third rep. Fourth rep. And some of the cues here, so this is number 6 here, so some of the cues are essentially zipping up from the bottom to the front. That's quite a helpful word, cueing for a lot of people. Another cueing is for when you walk out into the ocean and you feel the cold water lap up into around your pelvis area. That's the feeling which you kind of get when you kind of clench up there. This is number 8. This is number 9. And finally, number 10. Fantastic, so there is our pelvic tilt. Now the second thing that we want to show you is the Abdo Prep. And the Abdo Prep goes like this. So with the Abdo Prep, you want to bring your knees and hips into a 90-degree position. So 90 here, 90 here. And what you're after here, you don't want to be holding onto your head. What we'd recommend is just lightly touching just your temples here. So what we're going to do is drawing up towards your knees. So you want to curl up little by little, segment by segment of your spine here. So coming up, coming up, coming up, and down. So importantly in Pilates, we're going to be looking at the breathing aspect. So you always want to be breathing out when you do the movement. So okay. In terms of repetitions, we would recommend between 30 to 40 of these. We're just going to do 20 of these to start with because for somebody at the beginning, 20 is a sufficient amount. Okay, we're halfway. %. And one for the Queen. Fantastic. So that is the Abdo Prep. The next exercise is a tabletop position, and this incorporates that pelvic tilt, and then working again the abdomen. So we're working that front core. So for the tabletop position, you want to float one knee up, okay, using your core, using that pelvic tilt, making sure that pelvic tilt is already in place, and then floating up the other one. And how you do this with the tabletop position, you want to slowly take one down and bring it back up. So these are some toe taps which you can incorporate, which work right across from the top ab right down to the low ab. So we would generally tend to do this for a 2 minutes exercise. We're not going to do 2 minutes today, but we will do a good minute. So we're halfway. Always keeping that pelvic tilt down. So making sure you're doing one at a time. If you do get good enough, the progression to this is switching as you come, but just making sure that your back is not joining in at this point. So this is just a progression to that tabletop position. So you might find it useful to just have a break at the 1 minute mark and then to break in to that 1 minute again. Now, the one after this that I want to show you is a crisscross. Again, this is working your abdominals, but this time it's bringing your obliques. So to do the crisscross, you lie onto your back. So crisscross here, what we're going to do is assume that tabletop position, okay, using that pelvic tilt, popping your hands just here. And what you're going to do with this is taking one leg out and the other arm across. So we're going to do this for 1 minute. Keeping that form. Key thing to say about this is you don't want your legs to go straight out like that. Okay? That puts far too much pressure on your low back. So some of you might need a break at about the halfway mark. It's all about form, all about control. Okay, last 10 seconds. Okay, so that is our crisscross Pilates exercise. Now the next one we want to work on is the hundreds. The hundreds is a classic Pilates move and it goes like this. So with the hundreds you come onto your back, you float the legs up into that tabletop position, you lift your body up a little bit and then you're essentially kind of patting the ground, imagine patting an egg on the ground, making sure that your torso is working hard, and you do this for a minute. If this is too much on your neck, you can just bring your head onto a pillow, but really importantly, you want to bring your rib cage up a bit so that your abdomen is working well. Now obviously you do this for hundreds, hence the title. So we can go in kind of groups of 10. Okay. We're on 80 here. 90. And 100. Fantastic. So that was the hundreds for you there. What we're going to move into now is a shoulder bridge. So for the shoulder bridge, you want to reassume that pelvic tilt. You want to make sure that your feet are in a good alignment. So again, bring them together, splay the ankles, toes out, and then bring your heel bone in line with that. Arms by your sides, tilt that pelvis, and then little by little, you want to be lifting up onto your shoulders, bringing these muscles up. So this is going to be working your glutes really well. It's also going to be working in your abdomen as well. So you hold that for 10 seconds and then curl back down, making sure the pelvic tilt is the last thing. Now if you want to make this a bit more tricky and a bit more isolating for the glutes, just bring your feet all the way in there. And again, pelvic tilt, and then peel up off the bed, holding it for a good 10 seconds. And coming down, again, nice and slowly, nice and controlled. The third rep, I'm just going to talk to you around something different. So in terms of progression of this, we've already brought the heels in. the next thing to do, you can come onto your heels, so you can lift the toes up, and that just isolates ever more those glutes working hard there. So coming back down, and then up again. So number 4, always holding the 10, and we're doing 10 reps of these. And back down. And back up. In terms of progressing this again, if you need to, you can lift up one arm, and you can lift up 2 arms, and you can even raise them above the head. And what that does, it just throws out your center of gravity, and so you just need to be working harder for a bit more control in your glutes. So to make it even harder, you can start to move dynamically just with those arms, and you'll really, really feel this in your glutes. So repetition number 8 here. So you can go forward and back, side to side. You can do a combination. Come back down, always keeping your form. So number 9, this rep. And you really feel this working just in those glutes and in the quads as well. And this is the last one here. So pelvic tilt, rolling back segment by segment, coming up. And you can challenge yourself just by using your arms here, just to create a bit more of a dynamic movement. Okay, fantastic. So there is the shoulder bridge for you. Now, in terms of the next thing that we'd like to show you is a side kick. Now, the side kick goes a little like this. So you're coming onto your side, and what you want to do is come up into a side plank position, just like this. Okay, so the bottom area is nice and flat. This leg wants to float up, and then you want to be kicking up in that direction. So it's not completely straight ahead, it's slightly back a bit, and that just targets those glutes quite a lot. So we'd be doing this for 1 minute, we'd have a small rest, and then we'd go straight back in. So these are also called donkey kicks, but I think side kicks quite nice. So we're halfway here, so you really start to feel that burn in that muscle. And hopefully you won't get cramp. If you do, just have a short break. Make sure you stay hydrated. Now, if this is too much for you, you can just go into an oscillating position, or you can just hold it. But yeah, these are our donkey kicks or side kicks. And there is our minute. Okay. So the next thing that I would like to show you is thoracic rotation. Now, this is a bit of a reprieve after that core dynamic exercise. So thoracic rotation, this goes a little like this. So you lie just on your side here, 2 arms together, and then you want to open your arms up into this position here. And this is a really nice exercise just to help you rotate your trunk. And again, for lots of people who do lots of sitting, this is a really good mobility exercise for your trunk. So nice and slowly, hold it for a few seconds and back. And we would just do this for 1 minute. In terms of progressing this, you can take this arm over here, take it around and take it back. So over the top and around. Just making sure that you keep that control, and you do obviously do this on both sides. So probably what I'd recommend is just taking this video back to the one at the beginning of this and just doing it on the opposite side. Last time. Fantastic. So the next one that I want to show you today is hip abduction in side lying. So this is like an oscillating exercise, but this is like the clam here. So how you do this is you lie just on your side. And you're going to come up here. So really making sure that you've got that pelvic tilt on. Lifting up, keeping these pelvic bones facing straight ahead. You're aiming for a 10-second hold, and you're going to feel this just in almost that back pocket area. So 10-second hold and 10 times. So we should do one more in this position. So 10-second hold. Good, and the progression to this is lifting up your feet and then same again. So 10-second hold. Really making sure that it's not your feet pressing together. You want to make all of this in this top leg nice and working hard. So do one more in this position. Rep number 4. And then after this, the best way that you can do to progress this is either add a TheraBand in. Same again, so just popping the TheraBand in between the knees, and you can progress this yourself just through the Grazer resistance bands. You can pick those resistance bands up on our website as well. So progressing this as well, kind of inside lying hip abduction. You can do this position just here, going up and down. And again, just making sure that you go ever so slightly backwards, keeping your toes facing forwards rather than turning the leg just like that, because it doesn't isolate that hip abduction too well. Okay, so we just do 10 lots of 10 of these clams here, or you can add in some of those other exercises there with the same principle of time. Now the last thing that I want to show you today is working your deep neck flexors. So your deep neck flexors are worked through doing the Pilates exercise called the swan dive. Now the swan dive goes a little like this. You lie on your front. So for the swan dive, you want to create a bit of a diamond with your fingers, and your head is just going to rest in that position. Now for this, what you want to make sure is that you, as you come up, you want to imagine you've got a plum underneath your chin, and all of this is in a straight line. So really important to build your neck strengthening exercises. You don't want these big muscles at the front joining in, and you just hold for 10 seconds. So a 10-second hold, and you just do that 10 times. So third repetition here. You've really got to focus hard on this one. Basically staring through that diamond is what we need to be doing. Good, and down. Fifth repetition here. 10-second hold. Remember that we're doing 10 repetitions of this. So 10 seconds, 10 times. So there's our 6th repetition here. So in terms of keeping that form, plump underneath your chin, keep looking through that diamond, try not to be looking up at all. Just making sure that these upper traps are not joining in, making sure these big muscles at the front are not joining in, and down. Really importantly, in terms of this deep neck exercise, really important for those people who work at a desk, because often we sit in quite a slouched position and the stress on our neck becomes quite significant. There's rep number 8, holding it for 10 times. And again, so your head also weighs between 6 to 8 kilograms, and every inch that your head is forwards from your shoulder adds 5 kilograms to that weight. So as you can imagine, this neck exercise is really important for those people who sit at desks or sit down for long periods of time, or indeed are on devices like their phones and things. So final exercise here, number 10. Keeping that real form throughout, so don't let these big muscles come in. Working hard on these back neck muscles. Always drawing together those shoulder blades, making sure that you're working hard. There we go. So that is the 10th exercise there. So there you have it. Those are our 10 best Pilates exercises. Whether you're at the beginning of your Pilates journey, whether you're somebody with low back pain, or whether you're somebody who simply wants to get their core stronger, those exercises here are really going to transform your health and transform the issues that you might be having. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video today. If you have, please like the video to just give us some feedback. If you have any questions, please comment in the box below. Be sure to punch that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, so that you receive all the weekly content which we believe will revolutionize your health. So thanks so much for joining us today, and we really look forward to seeing you next time.